So here you have it. Conservative viewpoints linked to lower cognitive abilities. Oh, yes, see, I knew you heard that before. Okay, well, let's take a look here. What do we got here? Um, it's not always so straightforward. So the relationship between cognitive ability and political ideology has, of course, been the subject of interest for researchers for years. And there's been several studies that have explored how cognitive abilities may correlate with various political beliefs, particularly conservative viewpoints. So let's see if we can summarize some of the findings from this study. So it was a comprehensive meta-analysis of 20 studies involving over 46,000 participants, and it found that a small positive association between cognitive ability and economic conservatism, which with a mean effect size 0.07. This suggests that individuals with higher cognitive abilities may be slightly more to hold economic conservative views. However, this correlation is weak and indicates cognitive ability is just one of many factors influencing political ideology. So now you're going to see the difference between social conservatism and economic conservatism. So the conservatives from, the 60s, people before it became what it is today, these were people that were generally higher educated, right? And so you'd see that they generally would have high IQ, high cognitive abilities and stuff like that. But it is until you get to people who are bigoted, okay? So the meta-analysis included 20 studies with a total sample size of 46,400 participants. It looked at the relationship between objective measures of cognitive ability and economic ideology. The study used correlation coefficients as the measurement of effect size. The meta-analysis found small positive association between the cognitive ability and the economic conservatism. The researchers noted that the effects of the sizes across the studies were extremely heterogeneous, meaning that there was significant variation in the strength and direction of the relationship across different studies. So they got lots of different data from different studies that happened to be wildly different. In addition to the meta-analysis, the researchers analyzed survey data to test theoretical explanations for the observed association. So they gave a few guesses. The survey data analysis supported both positive association mediated through income and negative association mediated through higher need for certainty. There you go. The researcher concluded that multiple causal mechanisms without countervailing effects might explain the low overall association of cognitive ability and economic political attitude. So the fact that every study that they do, it comes out different, which makes this whole claim a little funny, but nevertheless, they see a pattern emerging. So in contrast to economic conservatism, research indicates that lower cognitive abilities are more consistently linked to the endorsement of socially conservative political views. Aha! Here's the meat of it, folks. Meta-analyses have revealed negative correlations between cognitive ability and social conservatism or authoritarianism, suggesting that individuals with lower cognitive abilities may be more likely to adopt socially conservative stances, which means unapologetic stances on anything, any wild dogmas or anything like that. Sounds vaguely familiar, yeah. Right-wing authoritarianism shows a particularly strong negative correlation with cognitive abilities and cognitive ability measures, including numeracy tests. This relationship appears to be more robust than the general association with social conservatism, indicating that the individuals who score lower on the cognitive ability test may be more inclined to endorse authoritarian views. So here you have it. You have the ultra-rich who hold fiscally conservative views, financially conservative, economically conservative views, And they use the power of populism to get the unwashed working class masses to care about something so xenophobic or whatever. Find something that can pick at the consciousness of the working class person and say that you're against it, whether it's homosexuality or any kind of long-standing traditional view on something where, you know, they can pick at. It's all about division, dividing us on whatever they can find to divide us by. Labels, slapping labels on us, slapping labels on each other. It's we go round and round. So it's really beautiful that the working class get duped into policies that are not in the best interest of them and are actually in the best interest of the people who already have all the power. So the link between cognitive ability and social dominance orientation is less clear. Some studies have found weak negative correlations, while others report no significant relationship. So this inconsistency suggests that the relationship between cognitive ability and your economic outlook or whatever may be influenced by other factors, making it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. But as what we see when it comes to prejudices, lack of education and lack of experience is clearly linked, because when you gain some experience and education, it puts you in a position to rise above that. The relationship between cognitive ability and economic conservatism is more inconsistent. While some studies suggest a positive correlation, others find no significant relationship. There are too many variables and high amounts of complexity in people's political beliefs, and the multitude of factors that contribute to an individual's economic ideology. It's too hard to really figure out for sure. The relationship between cognitive ability and political attitudes may have influenced various mediating factors. For instance, higher cognitive ability might be associated with economic conservatism through increased income, but it also could correlate with economic liberalism due to the decreased need for certainty. So it's about material conditions here. It's we have no idea if our political values are being shaped by the material conditions we have or not, which clearly it is. If you give anybody money and you give them enough money, they will start to get the feeling like they need to care about how much they're being taxed rather than, i.e., most people are okay. They're like okay people. But if you're poor, you're more likely to go out for some kind of brutal authoritarian communism. And if you're rich, you're probably for the most laissez-faire libertarian economics that you can find. It's just a lot of politics is about self-interest and what we decide. And this is what this is all about. This is kind of taking a look at our political viewpoints and saying, what is the psychological root of this? Because then you can get right down to the nitty-gritty of it, which is a lot of this stuff is written in our genes. It's written in our early experiences in life, written in our hormones, written in our blood or whatever. How we function biologically dictates a lot about our political views. And it takes a lot to switch out of that. Also propaganda and also, other things, life experience. But nevertheless, correlation does not imply causation, and individual beliefs are shaped by a variety of factors, including personal experiences, cultural background, and social environment. So a lot of variables to avoid making sweeping generalizations. Recent studies have revealed intriguing correlations between political ideologies and cultural preferences too, particularly in dog ownership and music choices. So research indicates that conservatives are more likely to acquire dogs from breeders, which is not great, aligning with the values of loyalty and tradition and eugenics, basically, while liberals tend to prefer adopting dogs or rescuing dogs, reflecting compassion and care for animals, which I don't see what's so wrong about that either. You get purebred dogs, aren't they like riddled with health problems? Like the hip dysplasia in most German Shepherds and these kind of dogs. I had a German Shepherd. It's the first thing to go. That's the eugenics of dog breeding. You should really want a more diverse gene pool when you're actually having a dog. You're hoping that you're going to get something that's special or intelligent, not something that's just off the assembly line. Just, here's your dog. Instant dog, just add water. It's boring. It's very industrial revolution. We don't need to do that. There's plenty of dogs that needs homes. I got a dog I rescued. Look. Raisa. Woof, woof, woof. Oh, that's mean. Hey, honey. Say hi. You're such a sweetie pie. Yeah, you're so sweet. So research indicates that they're like in their inbred dogs. Similarly, musical preference also show political divides. Conservatives often favor simpler music with repetitive patterns, such as country music, which resonates with traditional themes, whereas liberals are more inclined towards complex genres like jazz and alternative music that lack repetitive structures. So again, this is this fear. They live in fear of things that they don't know. Jazz, it's very scary. We don't know when the beat will come back on or if there's ever going to be a melody that comes back that I recognize. It's all just uncharted water and I'm just scared to death. While country music, it's on the beat and you know that the chorus will come back around and I'll be able to sing. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. I understand that xenophobia bleeds over into every single thing that a person does or how they're motivated. Where some people say, I don't like the monotony and the mundaneness of everyday life. It's getting boring. I need something new and I want to do something exciting. While people that are whatever socially or even economically conservative tend to, just play it easy. They're risk averse. They wear a bow tie, eat sensibly, work out exactly the amount of time that they're supposed to work out. Like these nerdy frat guy turn hedge fund, whatever, people who are hyper focused on anything and don't see any beauty in anything other than the accumulation of wealth and stuff. Interesting kind of people. And a lack of empathy for anyone else who may have a different perspective. I once went to a sauna in Germany, and I met a guy who was a banker, rich guy, and he said, "I don't understand why people have such a hard time in life." I'm like, "Bro, not everybody can be a banker, right? If it was a world full of bankers, then what? Somebody's got to make the bread and somebody's got to clean the toilets." So, never really understood that. What a world. And by the way, folks, I wanted to mention you got to be wary of communists these days. I'm serious. It's getting worse out there. Capitalism is falling apart and everybody is talking about communism. Well,